Hey everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the Greenleaf Connect today. Thank you all for joining me. And today we're going to be talking about creating and maintaining an online presence. I will be giving the presentation myself and we'll go ahead and begin. Before we do get started, I just want to go over the purpose of Greenleaf Connect, which we hold our weekly forums to get together and talk about all things Greenleaf. Greenleaf Connect creates a space for us to be direct, informative, and build transparency for our audiences on important topics. So I just want to cover the rules of engagement again. Please do mute your mics while the presentation is going on. You can change your presentation view by moving the slider between the presentation and the speaker. We also will have a Q&A session at the end of the video presentation, so be sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll go over some upcoming events and dates for us. And this will be shared on Workplace. Once the recording is finished, we'll make sure to share it for everyone. What is an online presence? Well, an online presence is a collection of digital media representing an individual or a company. What that basically means is it's a collection of all your social media profiles, your anytime you're listed on an employee directory, or any achievements you've made that have been posted online, like LinkedIn. Some people refer to an online presence as your brand. Often we associate branding with businesses, but it's important to build your personal brand. Even if you're not offering a service or a product directly, you want to think of yourself as that service or product. So your online presence or your brand is essentially your online reputation. So this collection of digital assets that you have online, people use that to get to know you better professionally or personally. And so now we get into why your online presence matters. Most of us are on some type of social media, right? So we use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Here we have our internal site, Workplace, LinkedIn. So keep in mind that you are building an online presence, whether you intend to do so or not, by simply having a social media account. So there are some great things to keep in mind. You want to be aware that everyone can access your information online, and you can't always control who sees it. While social media platforms have special features where you can set privacy limits, in the grand scheme of things, when you sign those terms of conditions, you are allowing anything you put on the internet to be accessed in multiple ways. So it's important to read your terms of conditions when you sign up for things, just to be aware of how your images or your content may be used. Now that you're inside this platform, but also you want to be aware of the kind of things that you're posting. So you don't want to post things that may seem inappropriate to your employer. You want to be monitoring the photos that you're tagged in. You want to be careful of where you take photos or how you take photos, so that you're not conveying any inappropriate messaging or you're not encouraging a certain type of behavior. So those are some things to think about. On the other hand, doing nothing is also not an answer. So going back to my point of simply having a social media account isn't enough. If you're not posting, engaging, and not telling your own story online, people will start to make up a story for you. So you want to be careful of not engaging at all, but you also want to be mindful of the types of accounts you engage with and the type of content you're posting. And so let's get into some best practices. So best practices for your online presence. You don't have to become a social media influencer to have a good online presence. Here are a few of my recommendations. Pick one or two social media platforms that are easy for you to use and manage, something that you're already using in your day-to-day life. I use Instagram and LinkedIn. I use Instagram for my personal social life, and I use LinkedIn for my professional social life. That's how I like to differentiate where I'm going to be posting my content and what kind of content goes on the platforms that I use. Decide what kind of content you want to share. Will you be sharing strictly professional content? Will it be a mix of personal and professional? Or will it be all personal? So those are some things to think about when you're sharing content. Either option is fine. Just be mindful of this when you are posting and creating your content. I like to suggest picking 3 pillars for your content to focus on. So for me on my Instagram, I enjoy art, expressing my style of fashion, and adventure. So those are the 3 things that I focus on. And adventure for me means discovering something new. So that can be going to the botanical gardens and seeing a new exhibit. That could be going to the museum. That could be checking out a new restaurant, going to a city I've never been before. So those 3 things, art, style, and adventure, are the things that I focus on my social media, on my Instagram. When it comes to LinkedIn, I tend to focus on my industry. So I went to school for journalism. I've worked in communications. I am in marketing now. So I follow other individuals who are interested in those industries. I follow relevant accounts, brands, and companies in those industries so that I can stay up to date on what's happening within them and build a network within that industry, if that makes sense. So for example, I'll use like an accountant. So if you're an accountant, you may have an Instagram page and you share investing tips or news you hear about. You may be like really into food, so you share your food photos, and you really like sporting events. So investing, food, and sports is all about your social media. And that way it's easy to come up with content, and you can just add things that you already do in your life and just share them on social. Yeah, so let's talk about brushing up on your photography and video skills. People hear photography or videography and they instantly think award-winning, world-renowned images. It doesn't have to be that difficult. Honestly, basic photography and video knowledge will go a long way. The first rule I have is always follow the rule of thirds. So you can, on your camera, set it up so there's a grid and it's separated in thirds horizontally and thirds vertically. Use the grid to place your subject within one of those thirds, whether it's at the bottom, the middle, the top, whether it's right, centered, left. You want to make sure that you're using the rule of thirds because it just gives your photography composition and it looks a little more intentional. So that's a good rule. Number 2, use natural lighting. Take advantage of the outdoors, take photos in their spaces that have lots of windows. Natural lighting, the daytime is going to be your best friend. If you're feeling adventurous, you can always invest in a tripod or a selfie stick. This will come in handy if you're on a go. Like I was saying, if you're an accountant and you love sporting events, a selfie stick would be great for you because whenever you're out at your sporting events, you can take pictures of what you did and the game and all that good stuff. This is a big, big rule. Use your phone. Most smartphones have excellent professional level cameras. Use them. Use editing apps. Your smartphone comes with a ton of editing apps, and some of those features in the apps aren't found in the social media sites. So that's another way to give your photos that picture perfect finish, if you will. And find inspiration from others. Honestly, follow your peers and other relevant accounts that speak to your style, look, or vibe you're going for. And even follow photographers or videographers who give tips on how to create cool content, just so you can see what your limitations are, what can you do with what you have, and it'll just help get your creative juices going. Last but not least, on the best practices, you do want to stay consistent. So this doesn't mean spending 5 hours a day every day on your social media, because most of us don't have 5 hours to dedicate to one thing anyway. This can mean once a week, a few times a month, whatever you feel is convenient for you. If you have a hard time staying consistent with social media, try, updating your social media when you have reach professional or personal goals. You can center your social media around your milestones. You can show people how you celebrate holidays. And then this way, every holiday, because there are quite a few of them, you will be updating your content and that'll keep it frequent and people can expect that from you. Another good way to stay consistent if you're struggling with content is maybe celebrate some national days. You can pick a few or maybe one a month that you like and share that on social media if you're struggling to find content. And so now we're just going to talk about maintaining a good online presence. My number one rule is that you need to have fun. This should be enjoyable. Don't simply do what others are doing because people like it. Remember that you are creating your online reputation, nobody else's. So whatever you do, it needs to be something that you like to do and that you feel comfortable sharing. Tell your story. Be yourself, share things that come naturally to you again, and that are already a part of your life. That is the easiest thing to do because it'll help you have fun and it'll make searching for content super simple. And engage with others. Be active on your social media platform. People are looking for that type of engagement, not just you posting a picture or a video every once in a while. Engage with people you know, people you don't know. Use social media to build your network and connect with people offline. Don't be afraid to leave a comment or a message if you're in the same industry with somebody or you want to learn more from them or you just want to connect because you think they're interesting. In today's time, that is absolutely fine. And be mindful. Whether you post them directly or other people tag you, be cautious of what you are putting out online because it can follow you later down the road or it can resurface. Just be mindful of that. And we've all seen people who have been fired or have faced, major consequences because they were seen on social media doing something inappropriate, and it got to the news, it got back to the company. So those things happen. So just be very mindful of what you post. Also, create cool content. Be open to learning a few basic photography skills, be open to finding inspiration from others, and use your smartphone. But most importantly, be open to engaging. Social media and having an online presence is all about engaging. So you have to post and you have to talk to people. And like I said, you don't have to do it all the time, 5 hours a day, but you do want to make time for this. Like you check your email. It's just something that you want to get in the routine of doing so people can see, hey, she's active, she's online, or he's active, he's online, he's doing these cool things in finance, or she's doing these cool things in marketing. Let me stay connected to them. Make the most of your online presence, have fun with it if you can. All right, so that is my presentation on maintaining and creating an online presence. Does anyone have any questions for me? All right, thank you guys. I saw your comment, Noah, and thank you. Oh, Melody, you can see this now. Thank you, Melody, for your comment. There are no questions, so I'll let you guys go for the afternoon. I know it is Friday, but before we move on, I just want to go over some upcoming dates with you all. So here you'll see that this recording will be posted on Monday. Make sure you sign up to volunteer if you haven't. We're still accepting applications. I believe Stephanie posted something in Workplace about the volunteer event, Camp Greenleaf. So it is Tuesday, July 26th through Thursday, July 28th, and you can fill out your application and send it back to me. We also have bowling happening June 30th, and Kazoo is gonna be up and running soon. If you have any questions about Kazoo, you can let me know. So that is it. I promise, guys. Thank you for your participation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.